Wall Street Journal has this headline: "What's it like to work for a Gen Z boss? Very different. If the early managers are any indication, the workplace will be less hierarchical, more informal, and a lot more focused on mental health." And then we get into the article where it talks about the experiences of, as Gen Z has come of age, and now, you've got people in Gen Z who are in their, mid to late 20s at this point, and are now getting to positions of management and even ownership in companies. What's that like? I mean, it's working for a Gen Z manager. I can only imagine it's a horror beyond comprehension. It's not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. Well, it's not true. I'd wish that on my worst enemy, but I certainly wouldn't wish it for myself. But we get some information about what that's like, and here's a little bit of what it says. At a New York startup company called August, employees enjoy Mindfulness Fridays, a more relaxed workday for deep focus without meetings. The company, which makes menstrual care products, also has manager-driven quarterly heart checks to see how direct reports are feeling about how hard they're working and how much they're paid. It's a work style introduced by Gen Z co-founders Nadia Okamoto and Nick Jain, who graduated from Harvard and Princeton, respectively, during the pandemic. Okamoto says, "We talk a lot more than most places about how to prevent burnout." Apparently, Okamoto was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder 2 years ago and speaks openly about it. "One of the things I've learned the most is to slow down." The self-described fast-paced entrepreneur who published a book with a Walsh sophomore says that she's fast-moving, but she doesn't expect her employees to move fast, et cetera and so forth. Mental health is very important. And then we get to this part. This is my favorite part. Research shows that Gen Z workers can be challenging to work alongside. A survey of 1,344 managers by ResumeBuilder.com found that 74% believe Gen Z is more difficult to work with than other generations, due in part to lacking skills as well as motivation. In another Resume Builder survey that interviewed hiring managers who assessed a Gen Z candidate, 58% said Gen Zers didn't dress appropriately, 57% said they struggled with eye contact, and 47% said they asked for unreasonable compensation. But those weaknesses might be in the eye of the beholder. What older Americans see as workplace liabilities, others see as signs of potential leadership strengths. Okay, so just to review, says the Wall Street Journal, it may be a leadership strength to struggle with eye contact, be unreasonable, to dress inappropriately, and to lack skills and motivation. This is what they just said. That those qualities, they may seem bad, but that may be a leadership strength. Now, how in the world could that possibly be a leadership strength? So just imagine like a person not motivated, walking around slumped over, not making eye contact, right? Completely unreasonable, dressed like a slob. Oh, that's a leader. That right there, that's a leader in the making, is what we're being told. How could that possibly translate to good leader? That's the opposite. That is right down the line, like bullet point by bullet point, the opposite of good leadership. That is in every way the opposite of what a good leader is supposed to do and how they're supposed to carry themselves. Grand Canyon University is a private Christian university located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. GCU believes that our Creator has endowed us with certain unalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They believe in equal opportunities and that the American dream is given by purpose. GCU equips you to serve others in ways that promote your flourishing, which will create a ripple effect of transformation for generations to come. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, Grand Canyon University's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your degree. GCU has over 330 academic programs as of September 2023. GCU will meet you where you are and provide a path to help you fulfill your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. Find your purpose today at Grand Canyon University, private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu. That's gcu.edu. So how could that be good leadership? Well, that brings us to like the greater point here, which is that, what you really find in the sort of Gen Z transformation of the workforce is an intense focus, an exclusive focus on the self, right? On what I need and what I want. Now, obviously, Gen Z did not invent that. They didn't invent the habit of being selfish and self-centered and self-focused. That's always existed in the human species, and in particular, since the advent of modern culture, to wherever you want to place that. But modern culture did not start with Gen Z. It has been, that has been the defining feature of modern culture for as long as we've had it, is this intense focus on the self. But with Gen Z, it's just kind of reached its full. This poison fruit has reached full bloom, we might say, and now you have a generation of people who largely just cannot see anything but themselves. They cannot look outside of themselves. They just can't, or at least they're unwilling to. And so that's the nature of this transformation, which is why, and you continue down the article and you read it, and some of the things that these Gen Z managers are doing on the surface could be good. Like we read in the first paragraph that during these mindfulness Fridays, they don't have meetings. Okay, well that's good. Cutting meetings out is always a good thing. 95% of meetings that happen in every company, everywhere, could be erased. Okay, you could cut out at least 95% of your meetings. In some cases, you could probably cut out all of your meetings and you'd be fine. But certainly at least 95% you could cut out. 95% of meetings are a total waste of time. So if you're cutting out meetings, that's always good. That's a good idea. Cut out meetings. It's just that the reason for doing it. So even when they stumble on a sort of correct conclusion, or they stumble on a good idea, they stumble on something that might actually help with productivity. It might actually help with employee morale. Employee morale matters because it feeds into productivity. And it makes people happier. And it may shock you to learn, I actually believe that it's good for people to be happy. You want people to be happy. In general, you want them to be happy when they're working for you, but also just in general, because that's a better way to live. So even when they stumble on something like that, it's always for the wrong reason, though. And it's because they're focused on the wrong things, which is why they may stumble on a correct conclusion every once in a while, but most of the time, the conclusions are wrong too, because you're starting from the wrong premise. And what we're hearing now is that, in every facet of life, and even in the workplace too, especially in the workplace, all that really matters is me, right? All that matters is me. All that matters is how I feel. How am I feeling in this moment? So, and as I go throughout my day and every task I have, I'm constantly doing an inventory to see, how do I feel right now? How do I feel about doing this? How is this making me feel? Me. And if I discover that there's something that I'm doing that in this moment I don't like doing, it's making me feel bad, then I should just stop doing it, because all that matters is me. Which is exactly the wrong approach. And the way to be a healthy person and a happy person and a productive person and also a good, worker on top of just being a good person is to be thinking about things beyond yourself. The first question you should be asking is not, how do I feel about this? But in any context, it should be like, how is this working? Is this making me a better person? Is this making me a better family man? Is this making me a better citizen? Is this making me a better employee? Is this making me a better worker? Am I being a better team player? Those should be the questions you ask. That should be the inventory. And then after you've got through those questions, then you can ask yourself, well, how's it making me feel? But here's the great thing, is that if you're asking yourself all those other questions, and then you're checking yes on okay, well, this is making me a better person. It's making me a better team player. It's making me a better, better for my family, and so on and so forth. You check yes on all those boxes. When you get down to the question of how's it making me feel, that question becomes irrelevant. And it almost answers itself. Well, yeah, it makes me feel better. Of course it does. Because I'm doing the right thing. And I'm focused on something other than myself. And when I focus on things other than myself, not only do I become a better person and do I become more productive and I become more successful, but I also, as a byproduct, become happier. So that is the thing that is lost here. Thanks for checking out this video. If you'd like to listen to my full podcast on the go, you can check out The Matt Walsh Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.